Hi! Okay, this is lesson 3. We're going to be working on introducing a couple of new notes for the left hand and right hand. You're still going to be working essentially out of C position. You're going to be learning the G7 chord and the F chord. So, we're going to start on page 34. You'll notice on the chart that we're going to be adding B below C in the left hand. Your fifth finger is also going to play the B, so you're going to be moving your fifth finger back and forth like this. The rest of your hand still stays in C position. So, here we have an exercise, and it's basically giving you a chance to move from C down to B and to be just as accurate as you can be. And you just do it and do it and do it until you can move back and forth. Once you've practiced arpeggiating, try saying that 3 times fast. Arpeggiating the chords, then we're going to switch to playing block chords. The block chords are at the bottom of page 34, a C chord, which you're already familiar with from lesson 2, and then the G7 chord. Now, I want to show you before we get too far, okay, you're playing B, F, and G. Use the correct fingering, it's all written in there. Now, G7. Why is it called a G7 chord? We're going to start from the beginning of a G chord. Down here. This is just a plain, simple G chord. It's a triad. G, B, D. Now, this one has a superscript 7. You're going to count up 7 notes from G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to add that note to the G chord. That is a full-fledged G7 chord. Now, to make it easier to move from the C chord in root position to your G7, we're going to do some changes in this chord. We're going to take the G, going to put it up here. There we go. We're going to get rid of the D. Okay? Still a G7 chord. We have the name of the chord here, and we've just eliminated the 5th of the chord, which is not as important. Okay? So we go from one 3-note chord to another 3-note chord. So I want you to practice going back and forth between those 2 chords in block position and arpeggiating. Okay? Now, to make use of those chords, we're going to be working on Merrily We Roll Along. At the top of the page, you have a notation about ties. On page 35, we're going to be working with C chords and G7 chords, but we're also going to be using a tie. A tie is a curved line that connects one note in one measure to the very same note in the next measure. They don't have to have the same number of counts, but they do have to be on the same line or space. As you can see, we have G, E, and C all connected by ties. A tie is like a plus sign. It tells you to hold the beginning note for 4 beats, plus hold it for, in this case, 4 more. If it were connected to quarter notes over here, it would be 4 plus 1. It would be 5 beats. So, as you play this, you're going to be playing the chord 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold for 4 more, 3 and 4. Okay? So that's all a tie is. It's just holding notes across the bar line. Since you only have 4 beats available in a bar line, it gives you a chance to hold things for more than the measure allows. I would like for you to work on Merrily We Roll Along and Largo, being very careful that whenever you play the chord in the left hand, all 3 notes are played at exactly the same time, and we've talked about that before, how you have to use your wrist to play the chord and not your fingers. Your fingers stay in the same place on the keyboard, and your wrist drops so that all 3 notes are played at the same time, because you're using 3 different lengths of fingers to play this chord. Okay? Now, while that's happening, you also need to be sure that the left hand and right hand play together when they rearticulate. Okay? So, all 3 notes in one hand play together, both hands play together. Don't let it go. Okay? That doesn't get it. Now, the Largo from the New World Symphony is something you may recognize, and quite honestly, I think it probably sounds better with strings. strings also help hold out better, because the piano has too much decay. Okay, but you can try whatever voicing you want on that. But again, same idea is to make sure that both hands connect at the same time. Now on page 36 and 37, we're going to be working with the same chords, a C chord and a G7 chord, but it's with the right hand. Okay, the C chord is, well, let's go back to piano. Okay, the thumb is going to be the one that moves in your right hand from C down to B, back and forth, while the rest of your four fingers stay in place. Get to the point where you can move easily like that, and then work on blocking the chords. Always watching out that your fingering is correct. If you get your fingering correct to begin with, it helps a whole lot, because the same fingering works for several different keys. Okay, on page 37, Marianne, the melody is in the left hand. The right hand has very little to do, but if you'll notice, there is a difference in the dynamic markings between the bass clef and the treble clef. Up here we have mezzo forte, and it carries through the melody. The right hand is piano. Now for those of you who are right-handed, that's going to be tough, because either you're going to play both hands at the same dynamic level, or your right hand's going to overpower the left. Okay? Left hand should be comfortably loud. Right hand is soft. That's not what the right hand should sound like. Soft. And watch out, you have ties. So be sure that you can hold them out properly. You'll notice when you're left hand, you're playing D with the fourth finger, second finger, fifth finger plays B here. Don't let your third finger scoot up to play D. Use your fourth finger, okay? It's kind of a wide split like this. You'll get over it. So it's 5, you skip C, 4 still plays with the fourth finger. So just watch that fingering there between 5 and 4, okay? Oh, let's see. And these are exercises you can go through. Be sure you recognize the shape of these chords as well as their names. Pages 38 and 39. On page 40, we're going to start working in 3/4 time. For some of you, this will be no big deal. For others of you, it will drive you nuts, because I doubt that any of you can name more than 2 songs that are written in 3/4 time. It's kind of a lost meter. So, in 3/4 time, remember the top number tells you 3 counts to a measure, and the bottom number tells you still a quarter note gets 1 beat. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay? In 3/4 time, the first beat is the strong beat. Okay? So you need a little more weight, not an accent, but just a little more weight to the first beat each time. And now we have to fill the measure, not with a whole note, which gets 4 counts, but with a half note with a dot. Okay, the half notes get 2 counts. A dot beside a note says to add another half as much time to the note. So half of a half note is a quarter note. So it's like a half note tied to a quarter note. Okay, so these are counted 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then my favorite note, the rest. Okay. Watch your dynamics in this one. We have forte here, piano here. Both hands are playing forte or piano. You don't have to make a difference between the hands. It would be a good idea to practice these 2 exercises, making sure that you pay attention to dynamic levels. Forte is loud, mezzo forte, remember, moderately loud, piano is soft. So be sure that you can make a difference in those with each hand. Okay, we are going, yes, these are the last two songs. And, you know, we talked about slurs and ties before. Okay, a slur is a long line over several notes, or it can be just over two notes, but it's never over two notes that are the same. So, okay, slurs say to play this all legato, smooth and connected. And here again, play everything underneath of it, smooth and connected. It's like a sentence, okay? You begin the sentence at the beginning of the slur, the sentence ends at the end of the slur. You don't stop in the middle of your sentence, right? Okay, so if I play this, I need to be sure there are no stops in here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then your hands breathe. Just like if you were singing this, you come up with both hands and back down again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Breathe. Breathe. Okay, now there's a lot going on in this song. There's mezzo forte at the beginning, and then it's piano 2 lines later. Be sure that the hand that plays the accompaniment, whichever hand it is always softer than the hand playing the melody. Then you have a marking at the very end that you do slow down. So you have you have a phrase, which is a musical sentence or thought, and you have, do we have any ties in here? Yes, we have a tie at the end. Okay, so just pay attention to all the small things that are going on in here, as well as, gosh, there's the notes, and I have to count them. On Day Is Done, just practice it. Be sure you can tell me the names of the chords that you're playing. Okay, I want you to be able to recognize the G7 and the C chord. And I believe we will stop the lesson at that, and we'll add the F chord in next time. Okay, so good luck. Practice. Just going through this will not make you a piano player. Okay, bye.